Hello, my name is Julie Powers, and welcome to Happy Cells and Souls. My mission in life is to inspire healthy living and to help people understand that life is better when you're dancing through it. I do this through the Juice Plus company and as a licensed Zumba instructor. But my expanded mission is to create better health at the cellular level and more joy at the cellular level. I truly believe that while we're here on earth in this one body that we've been given, we're supposed to be happy and we're supposed to spread light and love in the world. And that is what we are going to talk about today, because I have had the honor and privilege of getting to know so many fascinating people from all walks of life. And I believe that we can learn from every single person, no matter what. Doesn't matter if we share the same backgrounds in religion, social, economic, political, it doesn't matter because we can learn from everyone. We just have to have open minds and open hearts. And today we get to talk with one of the most fascinating people that I think I've ever met, Jenni Buschmann. And she's coming to us from her home in Ohio, where she has a wonderful husband and two beautiful children. And Jenni is a unicorn. Let's just say that. And that is kind of her mascot for life. And she is a living organ donor. She's also a Reiki Master Teacher. She's a mindful meditation teacher. And she has a whole line of cool stuff like smokeless smudge sprays. And she's got all kinds of cool stuff going on. But she actually was able to give the gift of life for real. For real. So, Jenni, I would love for you to tell us how that even came about. Like, what was the one thing that clicked that you were like, I think I'm gonna give away part of my body?
It sounds so fun. I love hearing you say all that stuff. So thank you. Thank you for that, because I think so often all of us do stuff, like we do stuff, right? And we are so quick to move on to the next thing to do that we don't acknowledge how awesome and unique we all are. So I love hearing when people introduce anybody, because they talk at such a higher and loving place about people than we talk about ourselves. So thank you so much for that, because that just brought me so much joy and lit me up inside. Man, it's so funny because I say that. I'll just start from the beginning. October of, we're in 21. So October of 2020, a month after I had just had a partial hysterectomy surgery, I was scrolling on Facebook, and a friend of mine who has been very open about her son's kidney journey in life. He has PKD, which is a very rare a very rare kidney disease. And he's had it since a young age. So I've learned a lot about that through her life, her family life. But like everybody, it's not close to me. So I would learn about it, feel for it in that moment, and then go on with my life, right? And so October of 2020, I was on Facebook scrolling, and I came across a post that my friend had posted. And it jumped out at me. It had a picture of one of her friends who I didn't know. And it talked about her needing a kidney. And whether you believe in God, like you said, whatever religion, right? Whatever you believe in, something, I believe in Holy Spirit. So I believe Holy Spirit, all these angels dropped something heavy in my heart as soon as I read that. And it said, do this. And I sat there for a second and I was like, wait, what? Cause it was information.
Wait, are you talking to me? Was that really me?
Am I still in recovery from my surgery? Am I still a little out there? So I was like, okay, whatever that means, it's not a definite. So sure, I'll look into it, whatever. And I did. I called this kidney coordinator, and I left her a message, just said, hey, I saw a friend's post. I felt like I'm supposed to do this. So here I am. And the coordinator was like, wow, okay. And we started talking, but soon, very, very soon, I found out I wasn't going to be a match for that person. And it was like I knew that going into it, because I remember saying to my person, her name is Tracy. And I remember saying to my coordinator, Tracy, I just don't care if I'm a match or not. I mean, obviously I would love to be, but if I'm not, I really want to go on. Do you guys even do that? Because I didn't know, I thought you had to know somebody that knows somebody. And long story short, you don't have to know anybody. You can be an altruistic donor. And so I started that program. And I believe you're going to ask me questions about this a little bit, but then I found out about this thing called the Paired Exchange Program. So I was still able to donate for my friend's friend, which her name is Perry. I was able to donate on behalf of her, and we entered this program together. And so I donated to somebody in New York, and that person has somebody attached to them that they donated on behalf of. And this train just kind of starts. So I'm waiting for my partner, Perry, to get her kidney. So for it to come full circle.
It circles the back around, and she will get it because you initiated that. The connection is there, and her kidney is in the works.
Yeah, it's somewhere out there. And the likelihood of someone getting a living kidney donor in the Paired Exchange Program is significantly higher than being on the National Kidney Registry. The National Kidney Registry is anywhere from 1 year to 10 years to get a kidney. With this Paired Exchange Program, the average is 6 months. So, and what happens more often than our situation's a little unique because Perry has O positive blood type, which O is the most, it's a universal blood type, but it is also the most, I don't know what the word is. It's the majority of what the world is O. So you would think, wow, she's going to get it, but it goes so deeper than that. She has low antibodies because she's not super healthy. So if you come in with exactly what you have blood type wise, but your antibodies are too high, she can't accept it.
Because
so she's you could potentially reject it. So she's a rare case right now. So yeah, the train got started, but people I know have entered, they would go to surgery on the same day. So Perry and I, if she was a little more easy to be matched with, we would have gone in on the same day. I would have donated to someone, she would have received, and it would have been amazing.
Right.
So I'm just praying and putting it out there.
So somebody who is watching this perhaps will be the person. Who knows?
Could be. You never know. Yeah.
So I think that is really cool that you're able to donate organs as a living person, and you're still a living person. Because, I've donated blood before. People donate plasma, and those save lives. Absolutely save lives. My daughter's life was saved, and we had her a little longer because she needed a lot of blood one time. And so I always give thinking about Emma. And then, we've talked about other ways that people can donate while they're alive. They don't have to just sign the back of their driver's license. I've done that. I'm ready. I'm like, I told my husband and my family, I want to recycle every body part that can be recycled when I'm done with it. And so I don't know what's going to be usable at that time. But in the meantime, I know people that have donated bone marrow, which is, I think, very challenging for people compared to the kidney transplant process. So can you tell me, what was that process like for you? Because I know that as a Reiki master and as a mindful meditation person, you are probably a little more aligned with being in touch with your body and your feelings and understanding what's coming at you versus somebody who just goes, okay, I'm going to go donate an organ, and okay, I'm pretty healthy, and all right, I'll take care of myself. Totally different, right? So can you tell us about that experience from inside Jenni B?
Yeah. So the average, when you decide, I'm going to do this, to when it happens, the average time is 3 months. So for me, it was 6 months. It was a very interesting journey because, like I said, I felt something divinely was telling me to do this. And if anyone out there has ever done anything that they have felt a draw towards that they believe is supposed to be a divine purpose for them, it's not an easy battle.
Right.
And so I was prepared for that. And it wasn't easy. I have a blood clotting disorder. So I had to go through a lot of blood work. You go through a lot of blood work. So the average person would go through like, I don't know, let's just say 12 vials of blood one time. It was interesting because I would go through like 18 vials and then I get a call and they say, oh, well, in transport, 7 of your vials broke. So then I'd have to go back in. And it was just really interesting. But because of my mindset and because I believed that this was something so much greater than me, I was able just to go,
Okay, I guess you need more
yeah,
blood.
yeah. And I'm not saying I didn't break, because there was a point I did break. I did break in the hospital the day of the night before my surgery. Because of COVID, I went in a day early and they did a rapid test and then hooked all my IVs up. And I broke that night. And I kept telling my coordinator, I said, if I break through this process, it's not because of the surgery or giving a kidney away or any of that stuff. It's because of the blood work, because for whatever reason, something kept intervening and I had to get it done 6 or 7 times. And then when it came to putting IVs in, it was just crazy. But again, I would sit there and close my eyes, because I believe our brain is powerful, our heart is powerful. But in my experiences, the breath is the number one tool of our body, because you can trick your brain with your breath. There's a lot you can do. And so I was like, just breathe, just breathe. So I would close my eyes and take the deepest breaths and then kind of try to pull myself out of my body. That sounds so crazy, but I would try to pull myself out and remember the higher awareness of why I was doing what I was doing.
Right.
But if I ever felt like I was in my body, like in my human experience, right? Because I'm a human. If I felt I was in my body, I could get judgy or I could get edgy. And once I noticed that, because for me, that's a trigger, like, wait a minute, I'm too human right now. I need to
Right.
pull out and not let it be about me. So breath work was the biggest thing for me through all of this, through all of it.
That's really interesting. I've been really working on the breathing and, taking the big deep breaths in for 6 seconds and out for 6 seconds, and, just really kind of resting in that. And I find that I get distracted very easily. But, it's a journey, right? We're all trying to figure out how to do life in the best
Mhm.
possible way. Because like I said, we're only here for a short while in this one little body that we are walking around in. And the fact that you were able to take a piece of it and hand it over to somebody else, but yet you're still you. And I know that there have been people talk about whenever they've gotten heart transplants in different organs, that they're connected to that person and they don't even know it. A lot of times you don't ever know who your donor was, and all backwards and forwards, right? But
Yeah.
eventually sometimes these people do meet, or the families meet, because a lot of times
Yeah.
organs are done post-mortem. And so the stories are so fascinating, how there's this extreme connection, and that organ knows where it was before. And
Yeah.
so do you have any kind of have you had any connection? Do you know who your recipient was?
So I have no idea who they were. I just know it went to New York. I mean, I don't know. I had a different recipient, and then 2 weeks before surgery, I got a call from my coordinator saying, "Hey, they're not healthy enough to go into surgery." This was hard. This was actually really challenging. I guess I'm supposed to talk about it because it came up, but she called me and she said, "You have a choice. You can either hold off for a month and maybe they'll be healthy enough to go into surgery then, or we can put you to someone else in that transplant center." And I cried at first because I felt kind of guilty, I guess, because I felt like I was letting this other person who I didn't even know, like I
Right.
felt like I was letting them down, because I'm like, well, if I say, let's just go forward, because that's what I ended up doing,
Right.
because
Because
I
they want
felt
to
it
give
was
you the kidney, right?
yeah, and I was like, this is a divine thing. So this is all happening for a reason. And so maybe that person's just not supposed to get my kidney. and I blessed them, but I had a little bit of a struggle there because I felt like they're going to get a call saying, hey, this person moved on, and then their hope was going to be crushed. So I was holding that too. That's me. I hold things very, very closely, even if I don't know the person, apparently, which is fine. But no, so I could potentially find out who they are. We're at that time now where if they want to communicate with me, they let their coordinator know, and then we can communicate. I have no expectation of any of it, but I do have a funny short story. So the girl, Perry, who I'm in the program with, she got a kidney a couple years ago from someone who is deceased. And she picked up some of the qualities of that person. The person, she knew their family. She found out about their family, but the person had a tragic death. He drowned. It was a boy, and he drowned. And Perry had never had a fear of water. And she went into the pool, and she said she felt like she was drowning, like she couldn't get to the top fast enough. And then she started craving Rice Krispie treats. So there is power. I believe whoever got my little jumping bean is probably living the best life because it has so much energy in it. Because what I know too is that when I do Reiki on people, if you're an amputee, if there's a missing body part externally or internally, I'm taught to still go around it, because even though the body part is missing, the energy is still there.
Right.
So yeah, I that's one part of me in a selfish way wants to know who has my kidney. So I could be like, are you like, what are you doing? Like, are you running circles around the house? Like, I don't know.
Right. Well, I think it's just so cool that everything is connected. Everyone is connected everywhere. And the fact that there's now this physical connection outside of the energetic connection between you and this other person who you helped give that person another chance at life. So I hope that you're able to connect one day. I think that would be just amazing to be able to meet the person who has part of your body inside of them. It's just really cool. So what are some of the logistics that we have? Just about 3 minutes left. If somebody wanted to look into this, is it something that the Kidney Foundation or the recipient takes on the expense of that? Or does the donor take on the expense and go through their own insurance company? How does that work?
So the recipient's insurance company covers everything, all of the testing. Now, along your testing, if they find that you have something that comes up that has nothing to do with the kidney part of it, if you choose to get further testing on that for your own knowledge, then it's up to you to take that over. Like for my blood clotting, if they found something in the blood clotting through all the testing, if there was a blip and I wanted to see what that was, then I would start paying for that, because that was something I had prior to all of this. But no, their insurance company, the recipient's insurance company, takes over everything, absolutely everything.
That's good to know, because I know that there are some people that are feeling a tug. Oh, I could do this, but I can't afford to do this. Now I'm guessing that they would have to be off work or whatever. They would have to make arrangements for themselves, and that's not something that would be covered by any kind of insurance company or anything like that. But there are people that can do it.
Yes.
And, their lifestyle is such that they would not be completely disrupted by being able to do this. I mean, you have 2 small children and you have dogs, and you have a very busy schedule a lot of times with things going on, but you were able to step away from that and you did the full recovery. And how long did that take for you to get from donation day until you felt like, I'm back?
I would say donation day until I felt like I was back. The first 3 weeks were a little rough for me, but I started to really feel myself, honestly, probably in the last week or 2. So I think I'm going on 10 or 11 weeks now of recovery, but none of it was physical related. It was all emotional. So removing that, and it stirred up a lot of the emotional healing energy in me that I apparently had the time to deal with.
So somebody who doesn't have those gifts honed to the level that you do might not have that kind of a problem. They might be
Probably not.
okay, I feel good. Let's go on. Let's be part of life again.
Like 2 weeks, probably. Mm-hmm.
That's really great. All right. So we have just a minute, and I would love for you to be able to say anything at all that you would like to share with somebody who might be thinking about this.
Oh, I say if you're watching this or you've heard about this and you just get something that comes in, maybe it's a good feels, or maybe you think, oh, I could do this. Just inquire about it. You can reach out to me. There's different ways to do that, or you can reach out to someone if you know of someone that needs a kidney. At any point, I think this is important to know. At any point, you can say no. So they drag you into that surgery room. You are completely 100% alert and drug-free. You put yourself on that table, and they even ask you to that point, are you sure you want to do this? They ask you that throughout your whole testing process. So know that you can keep going and inquire information. And at any point, you have the right to say no, and it's okay. It's okay. So
that's really, really good information. And I'm glad that you were able to share that, because somebody might say yes and then have something come up or like, no, I can't do it. But they could maybe try again at some point. I don't know. But that is so great. And I just want to thank you for being the light in the world that you are, and for bringing your energy into not just you and your family, but to everyone and this other person who's walking around with Jenni B kidney energy. So thank you so much for sharing and being part of this conversation.
Thank you.